Welcome back to another video. This week I wanted to do a deep dive on how to exclude devices from Flex policies. There are a lot of situations this can apply to. We're going to go over one of them today, as well as 3 examples of how you can strategize excluding devices. The example we're using today is, let's say we want to push Chrome out to a group of users. In this case, it's going to be a policy. If you're an MSP, this could be to a group of clients, it could be to your whole organization, something like that. But let's say that there are a couple users, or maybe even just one user, who does not want Chrome on their computer. How do we handle that? So let's hop over to Addigy. And in our policy section, we can see that I already have created a deploy Chrome group. And that is a Flex policy. We can tell that by the auto assign being on here. So let's take a look at that. So in here in auto assignment, we have 2 filters. We have the device model name contains Mac. That's going to filter out any iOS devices. And we have the policy ID being my demo internal team here. So let's say there's one user in that group we don't want to have Chrome. Well, there's a couple different ways we can handle that. The first is we can add another filter in here for serial number. And we can simply say that the serial number does not equal or does not contain the serial number of that device. That's great for one-offs, but oftentimes that can be hard to manage over the long term. The other thing we can do is we can create a Flex policy of devices that we want to exclude specifically. So we'll walk through that. So if we go to policies, create a new policy, and we're going to call it Chrome exclusions. Go ahead and create that. Make it an empty policy. Now that we have this, we're going to leave it pretty blank, but what we are going to do is go to our devices, and we're going to add the devices we want. In this case, I just have one in here, but we're going to add them to that policy. Because it's not really deploying anything, it's not going to do much except keep them in that bucket, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to highlight that, go to Tools, and we're going to add a policy. We're not going to change its location because we still want it to live in that main group for other reasons, but we're just going to add a policy and we're going to add it to our Chrome exclusions group. Now what we can do is we can go into our policy here, go to our Chrome deploy policy. And once we're back in here, we're going to go back to our filters. And what we're going to do is we are going to say, we're going to add a filter. And what we're going to do is search for the policy IDs section again. And this time we're going to say does not contain our Chrome exclusions. We're going to save that and save it again. And that will then filter out any devices that are in that exclusion policy. The other way you can do it is via another custom fact. So let's say you wanted only computers with Apple Silicon chips to get this app. So what you would do here is you would add another filter. You would search for whatever fact you want to use. In this case, we're going to search for the is Apple Silicon. And we're going to say yes. And we would save that as well. Now, if you're excluding things after the fact and you want to make sure they get removed, an important thing to check is to make sure this unassigned devices that no longer match this filter set option is checked. Otherwise, no matter what you change in here, if a device has already been added, you would have to manually remove it from the policy to get it out of there. Where if you have this checked and you then create an exclusion, it'll remove those devices for you. I hope that gives you a little bit more information on how to create robust Flex policies with exclusions in Addigy. If you have any questions about Addigy, MDM, policies, anything in the MDM world, I'd love to help you and your business come up with a solution for those. I can be reached at the Admis Slack channel at Marshall_CIT, via email marshall@cranstoninc.com or at cranstonit.com. Thanks so much for watching.